Thunderbirds, welcome to another episode of On the Record. In today's episode, we have a special guest, Chicago historian Figga Dilla. Figga Dilla is an individual who educates others on the history of Chicago. His content on social media shares the history behind our great city. Everything from buildings, events, businesses, and the people that make Chicago especially unique.
Dilla dropped a lot of gems. We even learned about the history of Hyde Park and Kenwood, and I'm sure you will too. Dilla also educates people on where the names of streets originated from, like Stony Island, Cottage Grove, and even King Drive. Dilla is a black educated influencer who knows about his hometown, Chicago.
Hello, my name is Warrior.
And I'm Angela.
And today we're here with Figga Dilla, a Chicago historian.
And we're doing Thunderbird Media on the Records podcast.
Okay. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. I'm so happy to be with y'all. This is dope. It's making my week.
Yeah, we happy to have you here. Tell us about your name, Figga Dilla. What's the story behind it, and how does it reflect who you are today?
That's a great question. It's a two-parter. So there's a place in Chicago called Western Avenue, and that's where everybody go buy their used cars. And so my mama said that I had game of a used car dealer. Like I could trick her into buying junk, you know what I mean? You know how you walk into a space and she be like, don't ask me for nothing. And then by the time we walk into the car, you got the thing that she told you not to ask for. So she was like, you slick, you like a used car dealer. So she would call me Dilla, D-E-A-L-E-R. But then Common Sense met this DJ named J Dilla, and so my friends changed the spelling to D-I-L-L-A. So I've been Dilla since way before y'all was born, since the early 90s. But my Instagram page used to be Shy Dilla, right? Like Chicago Dilla, C-H-I, Shy Dilla. And then I used to work for the light company, and it was a trade, right? I was in the union. It was a pretty decent job. So I got promoted, started working my way up, and I looked up and I was making $50 an hour. And that's six figures. And so I was like, I'm Figga Dilla. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, Figga Dilla. What part of Chicago are you from, and how did it help form who you are today?
I'm from the south side of Chicago. I am from the Auburn Gresham neighborhood. I would say it helped shape who I am today by instilling certain values. It was, I was fortunate enough to have a number of like family units on the block that I got to see that kind of shaped how I wanted to be as an adult. Auburn Gresham is in the city, but it ain't close to nothing, so it also taught me to be adventurous, right? Like, there ain't a whole lot going on over there. So if you want to go to see, go to a movie or go downtown or go to a mall or go to a restaurant, you kind of got to leave the neighborhood to do those things. And so that taught me to not be afraid to explore. And, I'm still like that, right? I do a lot of traveling. So I would say those are some of the things.
Okay. What inspired you to start researching Chicago history, and how do you choose which stories to share?
What inspired, I don't even really know what inspired me to start. I would say it comes from my father. My dad was a cop, and so, him being a police officer in the city made me curious about the city, right? Like, and then how I pick the stories, I try to make sure it has something to do with today. So if I'm gonna tell the history of Hyde Park or the history of O Block or how Chicago invented chocolate brownies or how the first car race was in Chicago or how the dude who invented the remote control is from Chicago, I'm always kind of thinking about like what that got to do with right now. And if I can make that connection, then that's a story I'll tell.
Right, because it'd be more relevant if it's like about right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, our next question is, what is your favorite thing to talk about when telling someone about Chicago?
My favorite thing to talk about, to tell somebody when I'm talking about Chicago is all the things that are invented in Chicago. A lot of people are surprised to know like the car radio was invented in Chicago, or the jungle gym was invented in Chicago, the Ferris wheel invented in Chicago. I mean, like, we'll be here all day. So many things that's really, really important and things that we still use today that's makes this country roll, right? A lot of it comes from Chicago. So I love telling people that.
Right, man, it's cool.
Right, that's the thing I'm talking about.
What's a historical project or story you haven't been able to tell yet that you would love to cover in the future?
There are so many. You know, black people in Chicago invented the lottery. You know how like you go to the gas station and you stuck in line behind some old dude playing his numbers and you just want to get your stuff and go. That game was invented by and large by black people on the south side of Chicago, and it's such a complicated. It's not really complicated, but it's hard to get the fullness of the story off in a 2-minute video. You know what I mean? So I've been struggling with that one. And then I also want to like tell the story of the businesses that come from Chicago. A lot of times, particularly Black Chicago, we don't recognize that some really groundbreaking and balling businesses that came from this place.
Yeah, I feel like we got a lot of small businesses owned by Black people in Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is, in what ways do you hope your work reshapes how Chicagoans, especially younger generations, see their own communities and history?
You know, that's such a great question. I hope my work help the y'alls of the world understand that, one, y'all walk on sacred ground, right? What might seem like some, you know, you just own 63rd in Blackstone, or you own 62nd in Kimbar, or you own 63rd in Stony, and it might not feel special, but there's been some amazing people that have been in your shoes, that walk that block, that have done some things that have changed the face of the earth. So that's one. And then two, to see value in our neighborhoods. Right now, other people want our neighborhoods. In the 1950s and 60s, they moved out to the suburbs, and they realizing that the suburbs ain't got no damn alleys, right? We got alleys to put our garbage. The suburbs ain't connected to major waterways. If you know people that live in the suburbs, they always complaining about flooding. You know what I mean? They have power outages. We don't go through a lot of that stuff because the city's been being built and continuously being built since 1837. So we've perfected some stuff. And I really hope that the youth see, yeah, man, I want y'all to go see the world. I want y'all to graduate. I want y'all to go to big brain colleges. Man, I travel everywhere. I've been to Paris. I've been to London. I've been to Africa. I've been to Mexico. I've been to, you know, I done kicked it, man, Amsterdam. But it's value where we from. Them two flats, them brick buildings, they look old, but they've been standing 120 years. None of this new stuff that they building gonna last 120 years. And so a lot of that old stuff is in our neighborhood. We need to make sure that we buying it and we taking care of it. And we can do that by letting people know the history that take place in them places.
What has been the most rewarding part of building a community around your content online?
That's easy. The most rewarding part for me about the community I've built with my content is how I'm able to help and hook up young people, man. A lot, you know, people, don't y'all start big and either, but people all the time be like, man, I've never been to a Bulls game. I've never been to a Cubs game. I've never been to Lincoln Park. And so I like to help them get those experiences, you know what I mean? And then even beyond that, like, young folks might kind of sort of know what they want to do with the rest of their life, but they don't know what it takes to get there. And because of the popularity of my tours and my history channel, you know, I know the CEO of United Airlines, I know the owner of the Bulls, I know, you know, all these people that can like help you walk into this thing you want to become. I know artists, I know, you know, DJs and rappers and painters, and you know what I mean? So I like connecting those dots, and my content has allowed me to make those connections, and I'm proud of that.
I think that really do make a big change for young people, though.
And
you know, you got to see a thing to be a thing.
How would you describe the history that is forming today? For example, would you say Chicago history is repeating or changing for the better? How has youth involvement shaped these changes?
Man, y'all was on y'all game today. I would start with how would I describe the history that's being made today? I would say that we could have the ability to really make Chicago a shining example on how to treat poor people, how to treat women, how to treat people of color, how to treat Palestinians, how to treat Asian Americans. Like we got all the tools in our city to be able to do it. I know they like pitting us together, but we're at a moment where we can like define ourselves. Right now, it's like so much contention about migrants and other folks that come here, and is there space for everybody? And right now in Chicago, there are 2.6 million people living here. When Chicago was at its greatest, there were 3.7 million people living here, right? If we drive through our communities, on my way over here, right, if you coming from Auburn Gresham or Woodlawn or anywhere, you're gonna pass a lot of vacant lots. So how we got all these vacant lots, but we ain't got no space for people? That don't make no sense at all. Those two things don't even add up. Chicago has more vacant houses than homeless people, right? Like there are more empty houses than there are Chicagoans that's sleeping on the street. That don't make no sense. We can reverse that. And right now is a moment in time that kind of stuff can happen. So that's to that. What was the second part of the question?
How has youth involvement shaped these changes?
Man, what I be trying to, even my kids, I was just yelling at my 17-year-old today. I'm trying to do gentle parenting, but that stuff don't be working, man. Y'all be raising a brother, blood pressure. Sometimes you gotta, especially boys, you gotta throw them through the wall sometimes. Yeah, Kenwood getting on my nerve. Anyway, we ain't gonna.
Broncos.
I ain't gonna be dogging them out on this damn podcast. What I will say though is that nothing in this country has ever been changed by people my age. We support the change and we pay for the change, right? People my age with the jobs and all that, we provide the money for the movement, right? Even if we talking about civil rights movement, well, if they was marching, they got hungry, they needed some water. How in the heck did they get down south, right? They had to take buses and, cars need gas. So you always need my generation to help support the youth, but nothing in this country has ever been changed by people my age. Just always y'all, right? In your city, a guy named Fred Hampton had the country afraid of him, and he was 21, Dr. King was 23, 24 when he did the Montgomery bus boycott, right? Medgar Evers, and after just businessmen. John H. Johnson was in his 20s when he started Ebony and Jet magazine. The person who brings hip hop to Chicago is this DJ named Pink House. He was in his 20s when he started doing that. And so you go all the way to the founding of this country, right? The people who fought in the Revolutionary War were young, right? We talk about Harriet Tubman and freeing the slaves. The picture they show you of her, they show you her when she was up in age. But when she was knocking mofos out and freeing us and getting us to salvation, she was a young person in her 20s, man. So, you know what I'm saying? The youth that don't nobody even listen to us. You know what I'm saying? What happened with George Floyd, right? It was the youth that was in the streets, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's on my generation to support y'all. It's on my generation. It's this room full of people that's doing a podcast and production. Maybe one of y'all want to write a movie. Maybe one of y'all want to tell a story something in this school to make the school better. Maybe one of y'all friends trusted y'all with a story that some kind of hurt that they don't want to tell the world, but they want people to learn from, right? It's on my generation to have figured it out as much as to be able to financially support you and be able to connect the dots, right? If I can't financially support you, I can volunteer and help hold some cameras, help hold some lights. If I can't do that, then I can connect you to a person I know who own a camera company, and maybe he'll let y'all rent the cameras. You know what I'm saying? But it's on our generation to get y'all the tools. But the youth is gonna be what shapes Chicago. And so if the youth don't do nothing but chill and let the stuff happen, then y'all gonna inherit a city that you hate. You know what I'm saying? If the youth does something about it, then you're gonna inherit a city that you absolutely love.
Okay.
Amen.
Who or what motivates you when things get rough?
Them raggedy kids, man. I'm telling you, you never know how you can love something so much and not like it at all. Right? I love them kids. I really, really love the mess out of them kids. I'll do anything for them. I will, cut my hand off, cut my foot off. I work my fingers to the bone to make sure that their dreams come true. But I don't like none of them little raggedy mofos at all. So, but they keep me motivated, and not just them, man, all youth. I recognize people watching me. So I want to make sure folks are straight.
Okay. Okay, and what would you say to motivate the viewers watching?
What I would say to motivate the viewers that are watching, one, read more. Read. It don't gotta be boring history books or it ain't gotta be somebody's novels, but the thing you wanna be, somebody has been it before and they probably written a book on how to be it. And so, just think about life. Let's say you got a really nice car. What kind of car you want? You know what kind of car you want? You know what kind of car you want?
A Mercedes.
Let's go, a G-Wagon. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get you a Mercedes G-Wagon, you know, the truck that got the look like a box, you know what I'm saying? On some 24-inch 4G autos, and you're gonna have some 15-inch subwoofers. And when you play SZA or when you play her, the block here, you wong, wong, wong. You know what I'm saying? You like coming up, like when you crack the window, it's blowing your 40-inch bust down out the window. It's just like waving, you know what I'm saying? Your eyelashes is like waving at everybody, right? And but then you get to this street and it's like full of potholes. You know what I'm saying? Not reading is gonna make you think that the only way to get to that place is to drive your beautiful Mercedes down this street with these potholes. And then by the time you get to the end, you done messed your Mercedes up, your bust down, it's tilted to the side, your one eyelash is flown off. And you're gonna realize that somebody else needed to go in that direction and they found another way where the car was cool. And that's what reading does. So if you read more, I promise you it'll open it up, you know, just, and whatever you want to be, if you are an artist, if you read more, you'll learn more words to use. You know what I'm saying? So read, that would be my advice.
All right, I have one more question.
All right.
Do you got any type of tea or history on Hyde Park?
Oh, I got a lot of tea and history on Hyde Park. Some cool, some kind of crazy. Right, the first woman to fly a plane across the Atlantic Ocean is Amelia Earhart, and she went to this school. She walked these hallways for all 4 years. There was this amazing historian named Timeo Black. He was a teacher here for a very long time. The very awesome Donny Hathaway. If you don't know who he is, during Christmas time, your mama play, "And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas." That song that touches the world every Christmas, have mofos crying because they, you know what I mean, during the holidays. He went to y'all school, right? All 4 years. But also this school plays a part in some other Chicago history. For a long time, it was like one of the last integrated schools where like whites and blacks went to at the same time. And so sadly, some of the white residents in Kenwood wanted a school over there so their kids wouldn't have to come to Hyde Park with the black kids. And that's the reason they built Kenwood High School. So Kenwood wasn't there. They built Kenwood because this school was getting overcrowded, but it was integrated overcrowded, and people with money and power wanted a space for the Kenwood and Hyde Park kids to be able to go to, right? Technically, this school is in Woodlawn. And so, but the kids from this school didn't want Kenwood to open. So every day they went over there and they bust the windows. And when you drive up to Kenwood, you'll see that the first floor windows are now bricked in. So next time you drive by there, you know what I'm talking about when you drive by? It's like bricked in on the first floor windows. That's because of y'all bad Hyde Park kids. So there's some Chicago history tea. Yeah.
So we can't go to the next.
That's crazy. But you know, exactly, right? You know, nothing new under the sun, right?
You really doing your homework?
You know?
For real, because I didn't even know. I didn't know how long Hyde Park was up for.
Long time. This is one of the oldest buildings. You know, it is a gem of a building. Just look at how they build the new high schools now. Go look at Percy Julian or Harlan or even, you know, Austin Whitney Young. It don't look like y'all school. You know what I'm saying? It's like plain, right? It's like Harold's chicken with no mild sauce.
Okay, well, thanks for coming today.
Well, thank y'all for having me.
We appreciate you.
Thank y'all. And those who watching, y'all too. Don't just follow me because I want to follow, because I need all the follows. I'll take all the follows. But consider me a resource about your city. So if you got questions, you want to learn more about Chicago, from where to eat on the north side to what kind of programs is available. It's grants. It's all kind of stuff that be popping in the city if you're aware. So Six Figga Dilla, send me a message. I'll be happy to help.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in for On the Record.
Thunderbird Media podcast out. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to On the Record with Thunderbird Media.